Welcome to Angel's Workstation. Let's make something. Hello. Welcome to Angel's Workstation. Let's make a book. Watch this video put on YouTube by Four Keys Book Arts. I'll put a link in my description. But yeah, I thought I'd give it a try. It looks like something fun to do. So I went to the stationery store and I bought some ledger size paper so that I could make my book from it. I also thought, well, what am I going to use for a cover? And I got these art boards from the craft store. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this down the middle, and that'll be the cover. And these pages will go inside. Well, there we go. Let's get started. I got a lot of folding to do. So it'll be instantaneous for you guys, but for me, I got to put some time in. And I don't think you want to sit there and watch me folding paper. So. Okay, now that I've got them folded, I got to put them together, and they're in groups called signatures. So I'm putting 5 sheets together. 3. 4. All right, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. It's a little tricky to cut them all at the same time. I had a better knife. All I could find was a blade. But it works. There. And that's one group called a signature. I gotta make a whole bunch of these. Fold more paper. Oh, I don't know how many of these in a book I'll decide later, but I'm just gonna keep building until it looks thick enough, and then, yeah, moving right along. time to do the next step, and that's to poke holes in here. And we need just a little bit of planning. When I bought this ribbon, 80% jute, 20% polyester, but this looks like really nice ribbon stuff to make the backing out of. If I can ever get this unwrapped. Alright, so I made this many signatures, so I'm going to make 2 books, one for each of my sons. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I made 8 signatures per book. And let's see, 1, 2, 3. Put these aside for a minute. And where did I put my scissors? There we go. Okay, so I want these to be a little bit extra. So I did about that much hanging out on both sides. And remember, I am following the videos provided by the gentleman on the other end of 4 Keys Book Arts. I'm sure you'll find a link in my description. And I want to say thank you and a shout out. This is not very sharp. Be right back. There they are. Much better. These little cheap dollar store things you use. Yeah. But these nice little Scotch brand. Okay. So I need 3 of these per book. For that one. Three. Okay. Now, what I need is a little guide. So what I'm going to do is take a sheet of paper. Now, I gotta figure out where the center is. I had one of those little mini tape measures fall apart. I just kept the tape. So that is about 8.5. So about 4 1/4 is the center. Okay, we'll want to come in from the edge. Our first hole, put it at 3/4. This one, 3/4. Okay, so then how far do we want to go down there? Oh, let's bring that a 1/4 inch more. So 1/4 inch more. Okay, so then at this 1/4 inch mark here, as wide as the ribbon is, same on this end, as wide as the ribbon is. In the middle, I want it centered, and a mark on either side of the ribbon. So that'll give me 1, 2, 3 strips. 1, 2, 3, as I sew it all together a bit later. But for now, I gotta poke all the holes to sew the signatures together. So I was thinking about using this awl, but it's quite wide and thick, so I'll probably poke a bigger hole. So what I did is I took a great big yarn needle, cut off the end of a broom handle, drill a little hole, shoved it in, and I made myself a little poker. Let's put it to use. Now the guy in the video, he had this nice little V tray, has a little slot in the bottom so that you could poke through the signatures. I don't have one of those. So I got to get a little creative and figure out, well, how am I going to do this without one of those V's? Alright, well, I'm just going to take a bit of foam. I don't know, that's about 3/16 of an inch thick. Anyways, this is some packing foam, came from some box somewhere. I set that down. And then I take my signature, open it up. Oh, before I do that, I got to poke my holes. So, here's one hole goes in the end, one hole on either side of the ribbon, one hole on either side of the ribbon, either side of the ribbon. I'm putting these holes right along the fold. So now I have a reference. Take my signature, open it up to the center, add my guide, and poke through. There. Whole bunch. That's one. Here's another. Again, open it to the middle. Put your template in there. Put it down. Put it on something soft so I got something to poke into. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All right. So I'm just going to sit here and poke a bunch of holes, and we'll be back to chat with you at the next step. See you then. Alrighty then, time for the next step. I'm going to sew these all together. You can see I got all the holes poked. Yeah. And, okay, got these to go here. And I don't have beeswax, so I'm just going to use some candle wax. Now, I need some nice string. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and a little bit more. See if this works. I have no idea. Yeah, it seems to. I think the idea is just to put some wax on the string for lubrication. Let's go back the other way. Needle I picked, it's got a real big hole. I think it's a yarn, some sort of a yarn or darning needle. It's not too sharp either. Flat. Okay, now I want to poke this through the thread. Open it up a little bit. That's a little tricky. There it is. Ooh, this came out. Tricky. Tricky for me. Okay, so now, did I do it right? Yeah, that's on. Okay. I'm making $2, so I'm only gonna put 8 of those aside. I'm gonna do these 8. Now, in order to give it a nice crease, I want to press it. So I don't have a book press, so I just came up with this. 2 little pieces of wood. Fiddly. Okay, I'm going to give it a good squeeze. Probably be better to leave this sit overnight, but Give it a nice tight squeeze in there. That's good enough for me. So now you just start sewing these things together. So you one on either side of the ribbon. And there's a special name for this hole. I just don't remember it at the moment. I'll go in first. slack out because later on you want this tail to be able to tie a knot with. So there. Through that way. Back in. Leave a loop. This one. Okay, and back out the other end. All right, so now I'll trap some of these ribbons in. Like that. One more. Oops, I'll pick that one up later. Alright, so about like that. So in the next one. Lots of slack. Put the straps through each one of the loops. Pull it snug. Now this is where you want to think about, you want to get this piece nice and snug, but not too tight that it's going to start ripping. But you got to remember, all of this is going to be bound together eventually, all nice and snug, all stacked up. So each time you add another layer, you tie into this, so you'll need a little bit, just a little bit of slack to get your needle under there. Okay, just kind of keep it nice and snug. And these two, you just tie into a knot on this end. And you can cut off the excess. Okay, so that's two. I'll go for the third. I'll show you the third one, so when I get down to that end, how to tie it together, and then do another little bit of time lapse as I put these together. I hope the time lapses work. Yeah, unlike my previous videos, I decided to use my Google Pixel 2. Oh, that's back there. Pay attention. An old cell phone that I had to do my videos with. Okay, we can start snugging this down a bit. I learned the hard way that it only records on one channel. So when I mix this video, I gotta remember to switch it to mono. In there. Okay, let's get this over the ribbons. But don't tug on that. Okay, snug these up. the third one. So then you finish off this end by going underneath the previous end. Okay. You snug that down. Nice and tight. Yeah, so that's 3. And then I just keep going back and forth, and until they're both done. All right. So talk to you the next step. Okay, well, that was a bunch of sewing. So I thought I'd stop just before the last step. So as you come to the very tail end, very simply you just tie it off. Now, use whatever knot you like. I just simple knot. You want to get it underneath so that when you tie the knot down, it snugs down. I might do an extra one. There it is. Last time I did this middle of the time lapse, I just snapped it there. I was lucky. Okay. Anyway, so there we go. These don't have to be exact, but that's what you end up with. Starting to look like a book. All right. 1, 2. Not as snug as I'd like it, but yeah, maybe if I built it under. I don't know. Anyways, it is what it is. And see you in the next step.